My name is Antonio Booker, and I'm a clinical pharmacist with Option Care Health in Louisville, Kentucky. So I grew up in the west end of Louisville, Kentucky, next to Shawnee High School, Shawnee Park, right around that area. Family life, it was me, my mom, and my brother. And from there, I went to Louisville Middle High School, where I played football and ran track. And then I went on to Thomas More, where I continued to play football and run track as a biology major. Was gonna go for a dual major in chemistry, but decided against that. And then from Thomas More, I went on to University of Kentucky in College of Pharmacy, where I got my doctorate of pharmacy and then a certificate of learning in geriatrics. My home life was great. I tell my mom every day, especially now that I have a daughter of my own, how she was able to raise me and my brother in that environment by herself is a testament to her. Growing up in the neighborhood that we did, a lot of challenges with drug and gang violence, so just trying to navigate that and keep your head on track. And you know, there's people you grew up with who kind of go left and you're trying to stay on the right path, so not being pulled that direction. Again, just a testament to my mom and my family for making sure me and my brother always kept our heads on the right track and were able to, you know, do what we needed to do to get to where we are. I would say one of the most influential people in my life in terms of me being a healthcare professional, being a pharmacist, his name is Charles Taylor. I went to high school with his son, and he was the manager at Kroger Pharmacy down in Portland, and I was just getting gas one day. And he's like, oh, hey, hey, Tony, we about to go off to college. What are you going to school for? And I was like, I have no idea. I took all these science classes. I know I like science, X, Y, and Z. And then he was like, well, I'm a manager here at this Kroger Pharmacy if you want to shout on me and see what it's like. So I shouted him for a couple of days. He gave me a job, and, the rest is kind of history. He was probably the only other black pharmacist I knew from his generation. He's retired now, and so that was very influential for me, for him to, he could have just said hey and kept it moving, but he reached out and gave me a job and got me started, and now I'm here. So once I graduated from UK, at the time, I had been working with Kroger since 2010, and seeing how the field of pharmacy was shifting, I knew that I wanted to get out of retail and kind of refocus on something else. So I was just searching job sites all day and all night. I think I probably sent out 50 to 60 applications. I was just really wanting to get out. And I got a couple interviews back, and the one I decided to go with was Option Care Health, which is where I'm at now, and I've been there for 2 years. So we're a home infusion company. So we do IV therapy. We cover all bases, so I like to explain it as it's a hospital-type therapy, but in the patient's home. So for patients who still need that therapy but aren't sick enough to stay in the hospital. So where my focus there is infectious disease and pediatric oncology. Typically, I start out my day, I'll bring up my database for work, and I have tons of spreadsheets because that's how I like to organize. And we do what we call following patients that are on IV antibiotics. So, we have Joe Smith is on IV vancomycin for staph infection, and I will look at their labs weekly with our home health nurses, go out and draw blood, and I will monitor their labs to make sure that the antibiotic levels aren't too high, and also that their kidney function is being properly maintained. My favorite part is just being able to use my knowledge that I've learned over the last 2 years and provide optimal patient care. Like when you have an idea and you run it past the physician, and like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea, that's very rewarding. My old coaches asked me to come back and speak to the teams, like especially in Little League, to let them see that somebody who grew up exactly where they grew up has been able to, persevere through everything. And, I don't necessarily think your job is what makes you successful. I think it's the person you are in your job that makes you successful. But not only are you a minority, but you're a huge minority in your field. You know, to standing there in retail at the window and you have your white coat on with a name tag that says pharmacist, and they ask, are you the real pharmacist? So to be able to always, like, because you have to maintain that professionalism. So it's always kind of that, you know, it's hard to navigate, it's hard to deal with, but, you know, it's one of those things you have to shrug it off and get through the day. And if it does affect you, like, you know, that's fine. It's okay to feel affected by it and afflicted by it. But now when things happen, I just, you know, kind of let it roll off and make sure that I'm the best version of me before I walk through my doors at home. So I would tell 14-year-old me to enjoy life for multiple reasons. One, because it flies by. It goes by so quickly. It feels like last week that I was, you know, playing high school football under the lights, and now it's years later and I have my own family. And that life is short and it is extremely precious because, oh gosh, you just lose so many people along the way to a lot of things, whether that's accidents or disease, but, you know, violence, and especially coming from where I come from, can't even begin to count how many, you know, funerals that I've been to. So life is extremely short and you just have to enjoy every part of it, the ups and the downs and all of it, because when you're at your lowest, you don't think you see a way out of it, but it makes you who you are. So like everything that I've went through in life that was negative or down, or, you know, it made me who I am today. I try to be the most, like, compassionate person that I can, not only because people need it, like, you know, this world kind of sucks sometimes. Anyone listening, you know, there's gonna be a lot of challenges that you face, whether that's specifically in the classroom or out of the classroom, you know, based on age, sex, gender, race, whatever it might be, but you just have to keep pushing through. You know, I don't look at myself in any type of certain esteem, but I am proof that based on where I grew up, the color of my skin, that if you keep fighting for it, and, you know, you might have to catch a lucky break here or there, but you can finish your task, you can make it, whether that's becoming a pharmacist, becoming a welder, becoming a plumber, whatever it is you want to do. You're gonna face your adversity, but you know, you just have to keep pushing. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my interview. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher so they can get in contact with the appropriate people. And I would be more than happy to answer any questions.